It's sunny, it's spring, basically, and it's my favorite day of the year, officially, because today is the first inaugural Potato Daddy Planting Day, PDPD. That is what I am christening it. Take a look at this bed right here. Root crops, root crops, root crops, root crops, root crops. There's too many root crops. I don't need this many, and some of them, as you can tell, they're already starting to kind of flower out and bolt and split and all this stuff. So I'm gonna harvest out some of this first, and then I'm gonna show you what potatoes I've got selected. We're starting off with one of the more disturbing ones. Woo, the booty radish. That's that's what this is. That's what I'm calling the booty radish right there. Bop, bop. Look at this thing. Split, huge. We'll do something with it. Look at these purple top turnips. These are just absolute tanks. Look at that. Monster boy right there. What I was saying is what's nice about playing the beds in this fashion is that these root crops, even if I don't use all of these, even if I compost some of this, or maybe I'll donate some of it, it's loosened this soil up over the course of our winter season where I'm not trying to grow a ton, even though I can in my climate. So I'm just kind of pulling these guys out. There's lots of nice little holes here. We can chop and drop the tops and leave those. So this right here is stinging nettle, which you can actually make a fantastic tea out of. There's a lot of great preparations for it. But if it hits you while it is actually intact, especially, I believe it's the underside of the leaves, it's the top of the bottom, yes, the bottom. If those hit you, whew, you're in for like a weird tingling experience and not the kind that you want. So this is kind of an interesting way to play a fall bed that you don't want to plant actively. I actually went to a farm once that was a dry winery. So it was a dry vineyard, and they were preparing the land, and the first thing they did to prepare the land was put daikon radish in the ground. These aren't daikon, but daikon obviously have a crazier taproot that comes down, and they weren't even gonna do anything with it. They were just gonna let them die in the ground, rot out. The nutrients of the root itself would decompose in that hole, leave a hole, thus aerating that clay soil and adding a lot more organics. What I am excited about is maybe getting some good beets out of the bed. We didn't do any thinning at all, so you can see these ones aren't that good, but you know, that's okay. We'll probably get a couple big ones. Check this development out. This is pretty gnarly. You've got one single radish, weird growth here, and then you've got this offshoot right here, the roots starting to develop and kind of creating what looks to be almost two radish. Right here, it's not though. Like this is very, very much the same, but you've got this weird sort of root development that came out of this middle part. Just probably just a weird growth habit, but I've never seen one quite like that. All right, let's hunt for a few beets. Okay, that's a nice beet right there. That's my first nice beet out of this bed. Take a look at this. Nice size, probably roughly the right time to harvest it. Got some very interesting mycorrhizae going on here. Look at that. See that little white stuff right there? It's actually not roots, or it is a root, but it's a root. Oh, no, it's not. It's actually straight up mycorrhizae, I think. But very interesting to see that association right there. It means you got some nice, healthy soil. Okay, I lied. We did put some daikon up in here. Look at this. Look at this long boy. I'm gonna try to make some pickled daikon with this. Okay, I wanna show you guys the potatoes that I got this year. I'm very stoked about it. We are returning to a classic favorite of ours, Wood Prairie Family Farm out in Maine. Beautiful little packaging here. Take a look at this. I actually really like the way that they did this. So you got a little fun confetti, which I'm always down for. I'll compost that. But I've got my varieties here, and they're laid out horizontally here. So I have 4 varieties in each box, and I have 3 seed potatoes. And if you take a look at the seed potato itself, it is nearly the exact perfect size for a seed potato, which I'm very pleased about. So I'll plant these as whole seed potatoes. So let me run you through. Right now I've got King Harry right here. I have our classic favorites, the Sarpo Mira, one of the most productive, tasty potatoes. That one's right here. I've got the classic Yukon Gold, just sometimes you gotta go with some producers. And then I have the dark red Norland. I've never grown what's called the dark red variety, but we'll see how that goes. Norlands are one of the most productive in my climate. Then we're getting a little fun over here with Adirondack Blue. So if I cut into this, which I won't, you would see a beautiful bluish hue inside. I have Corolla, I have Baltic Rose, which is sort of like a rosy red potato, and then Kuka Gold, which is one I haven't tried before. So these three I have not tried. Corolla, Baltic, and Kuka. I've tried Adirondack Blue. My production wasn't that great on that. I've not tried King Harry, and then these final three, Sarpo, Yukon, and Dark, I have tried. The question is, should you even plant these right now? As you can see, there's no sprouts. It's not chitting, as the term is called, and the ideal would be actually to wait. You should probably wait to plant these, but it's not gonna kill the potato to plant it early. It's just gonna be a little bit slower. And these are production seed potatoes grown by a very reputable farm. So if I was gonna plant like a potato from my last season's crop, I might wait for it to chit and sprout out because I'm not exactly sure if it's going to, whereas I know this is going to sprout. So I'm gonna finish clearing out those root crops and we'll start spacing these out. Holy, yo, what? I can't even, I think this is a purple top turnip that just went mutant mode. Damn, it's like a football, hold on. Wow. The hens got scared. So this is my first barrow load. Let's see how much this compresses down to when I actually get just the root crops off. If you're preserving something like a beet for storage, you generally don't want to wash it. So all you really want to do is just chop off a little bit of that top growth, not all. Just probably, you can go pretty tight there. Something like that. And then I just give it a little bit of a shake. I might trim off some of these roots, but I don't like cut into the actual beet tissue itself. Just kind of do something like that. And then I can post-process this later when I'm actually gonna cook it. So this is too many greens to eat at once. I'm gonna bring it on over to the compost, but I wanna show you what we did before I cover up the thermometer. So take a look. We are at 150 Fahrenheit right there. Pretty damn good. So Paul and I actually shoveled it out onto this tarp that's right over there, shoveled it all out, rebuilt it in advance of the rain. Rain came down, kind of settled it in, and we're back to not only active, but above active. And then on the smaller bin, which is some of the more decomposed material, we are just touching about 100 degrees. Should heat up a little bit more soon. And then what we're gonna do is move all of our soil bays truly on down to here, so I have one more third bay to deal with for the active compost cycle. Because what you really want is you want your biggest material here, your least broken down, then your sort of transitionary phase, then your aging, sort of finishing compost right there. And I have 2 extra bins, of course, for extra storage. Let's prep this bed for our taties. And I'm just gonna do a really quick sort of scuffly hoe action here, trying to get any weird weeds or debris off the surface. This is mostly just for cleanliness' sake. I don't have to do this, but I want to do this. So there's a couple small guys here, just some grasses and stuff, but I do have a little chamomile right there. I'm gonna leave that, but the rest of this stuff I'm gonna clear off. So when I'm clearing this out, I'm really not looking to do a whole lot except for be my neat and tidy self, as Jacques would lament. I just wanna see where I'm gonna plant. And if I can lay these potatoes out in a visual way, I'll know if I need to clear more of this bed out. I'd prefer to leave some of this greenery if I can, even if these root crops might be a little bit over. I'd rather have them in there than just have the soil be bare. All right, my friends, we're back and we're ready, and the sun is getting lower, so I put on my sweater. Let's get these potatoes in. So I've pre-labeled. I just do name, date for potatoes because I don't care too much about anything else. But let's talk spacing and prep. So what I'm gonna do is start at this little corner right here, and I'm gonna kind of freestyle the planting, but I will be very careful between varieties to give them enough space. So I'm gonna do a bit of a triangle plant here. I'm gonna come in right here, and you can go potatoes like in a row and just do like a furrow. I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do like individual holes, like Shia LaBeouf in the movie of the same name. Classic movie, great book. Let's put this in. So in we're going with our King Harrys. When I'm going in, I'm going about 4 to 6 inches deep. So something just about like that. I'm going in, since there are no eyes chitting out right now, I'm going in just like that. And you can do that, it's totally fine. If you're in a colder climate, I would recommend chitting. But in this case, I think it's fine. they'll just take a little longer to come up. So if that's one of my holes, I'm gonna come over, this is about 1 foot long, so I'm gonna come over just slightly shorter than that, about 9 inches between. And I'm gonna come in right here with another one, and right here. So I wanna kind of dig my holes before I put my potatoes in, just so I have some sense of spacing between these, because if I bury them, then I'll kind of forget, right? So in go the rest of my King Harrys, just like that. And I cover them back up. I'm not like compacting the soil like crazy or anything like that. I'm just making sure some of those big chunks of clay are out, and there we go. So King Harry, and then my sort of tag convention is I'll just put it right in the center so that I know that I've got 1, 2, and 3. Then what I'll do is I'll bring a line out kind of about there, and I won't plant anywhere closer than that, just to give variety to variety a little bit of space in case I lose track. So I'd come in maybe here, there, and there for the next variety. So let's get these in. Okay, not bad. Let's see how these babies come up. I want to show you something in the greenhouse right now. I made something pretty cool this weekend. All right, so first off, the Tommies are looking good. From last week's pot up, they're actually getting a little too big for this already. So we have some of the 5 pots. Probably gonna need to get some more, but the plan is now to put them in the 5 pot, or man, maybe even something larger, because now that I'm looking at it, they're not quite gonna be deep enough for that. But what I wanted to show you are these little weird wooden totems I've been carving. So I carved out this old man. We'll call this one Jacques. I don't know why, it just reminds me of an old man. Then I made this potato one, which is probably my favorite one I've made. Just kind of really cool little spud guy. Just sits here in the garden, the greenhouse. And then I made yesterday this pepper, which this one was kind of challenging. I had to obviously carve out quite a bit of material here without breaking it. He's got a strong brow, but I don't know, man. When they're all stacked up next to one another, we got a bit of a squad here. So let me know what I should make next. So the garden's looking pretty good. Actually really good. The flowers are at another level. This border is just coming in so strong. Hurts a little bit to have culled out some of these roots, but honestly, I still have these left. Most of that's planted out with potatoes. I might pick another random bit up from the local nursery to fill this area out, because I really want a ton of potatoes this year. Did quite the thin on the carrots and the beets last week, and man, are they coming back with a vengeance. Look at how productive the carrots are once you thin them out. You can see some really nice development. Take a look right there. See some good development on that root size. It's crazy how fast they respond. The beets also have exploded. Peas on the back wall. Some nasturtiums dotting under here. I like spending time in the back garden these days. So spring is coming, my friends. I am super excited about it. This is by far the best the homestead has ever looked. I'm curious what you guys are interested in, what you're thinking about growing. Just let me know down in the comments. I'll leave you with this sexy little shot of garlic. Look at that. It is going to be a productive year. Good luck in the garden, guys, and keep on growing.